Holy moly. Welcome back everyone to Quantum Football. There's been a huge trades going on, and boy oh boy, I am glad to cover it. So, let's get straight into it. No funny business going on here. So, let me move myself just over here. The San Francisco 49ers have made a huge play for the number 3 pick in the NFL draft. They are trading up with the Dolphins. They grab the number 3 pick, but they have to give up a 2022 first, a 2023 first, a 2022 third. Meaning that although they move up 9 spots, they had to give up a lot for it. And the Dolphins, they got a lot in return. So I think both sides are pretty happy here, especially with what the 49ers are getting out of the number 3 pick, which I will talk about later. The Dolphins, just only about 30 minutes later, come out and say, we're trading back up, actually. We're going to the number 6 spot. And at the number 6 spot were the Eagles. They got the number 12 pick in return, a 2022 first, and a swap deal with the number 156 overall pick and the number 123 pick. So the Eagles move up 33 spots in later rounds while moving 6 down in the first round. So I don't really like this trade as much for the Dolphins, but at the same time, it's going to make sense because they're going to get their pick of basically whoever they wanted at 3 anyways, which I will get to later as well. So here is the big picture for you guys. If you want to get a screenshot of that or whatever, just a good visualization for what happened here. But what ultimately happened here? So the 49ers lost their number 12 pick, and it ended up with the Eagles, and the Eagles got an additional first from Miami. This is very important. That's from Miami. And the number 123 pick overall. The Dolphins got that number 156 pick and the number 6 pick from the Eagles, while getting a first from the 49ers, a 2023 first from the 49ers, and a 2022 third. And they had to give up the number 3 overall pick to the 49ers. And yeah, I mean, this is just fantastic for all sides here, at least. But the Dolphins got the best end of the deal here, in terms of value, at least. They got an extra first, if you just cancel out the first from. So the Miami first is what they gave up to the Eagles, but they, in exchange, get the 49ers first. So ultimately, they netted a first from the 49ers and a third from the 49ers. And then you move down 33 picks in later rounds, only to trade back 3 spots. So that's pretty incredible for them. They weren't drafting a quarterback there, and now that the 49ers moved up, that looks like what they're doing. It looks like this is what it means for the 49ers. It means they're going to draft a quarterback. Who's going to be that quarterback, you ask? Well, Zach Wilson, as pro day today, looked fantastic. Threw some pretty deep balls, zipping it out on slants. He's looking really good to go. I think he goes at the number 2 pick. And we all know Trevor Lawrence is going to the number 1 pick. So, what does that mean for the 49ers? They probably get Justin Fields. Now, they could go Trey Lance or Mac Jones, but that's what it looks like to me, at least. It looks like they're going to this spot to get Justin Fields. Now, if Justin Fields were any other draft class, I think he would be like the number 1 consensus overall pick. But since you have 2 great QBs as well in this class that are going ahead of him, it looks like the 49ers they give up a whole lot less than they would have to for a number 1 overall caliber pick, which, that's pretty great for them. Now, they could go Trey Lance as well, who has an upside of a number 1 overall pick. And they could go Mac Jones, who might even be like the best fit overall. But I think it's going to be one of those 2 guys. And the whole franchise basically rests on this pick. If they can get this pick right, they're probably going to win a couple Super Bowls, which will be fantastic for the 49ers. But if they get this pick wrong, they're probably doomed for, 10 years of, eternal pain, basically, because they gave up so much to get this. Now, of course, it wouldn't be as much, trading up for a number 1 overall caliber pick in like any other year. But at the same time, a lot rests on this pick. So, you better get it right, 49ers. What does this mean for the Eagles? Well, they trade back 6 spots to the 12 spot. And I don't really get the whole point of this. I think they should have gone maybe Kyle Pitts or Devontae Smith or Jamar Chase if he lands there at the number 6 spot. But I see what they're doing here. So what they're doing here is they're letting their young wide receivers develop with Jalen Hurts. And they will probably be going linebacker in Micah Parsons, or they'll probably be going cornerback opposite of Darius Slay, who will develop perhaps under him to take over as that quarterback 1 spot for him. Now, who is that cornerback going to be? Now, maybe the Dallas Cowboys at number 10 take a cornerback. So, at worst, they have the option of taking a quarterback 3. So, the third option out of the top 3, which is Caleb Farley, J.C. Horn, and Patrick Surtain. But I think it's very likely that they could get either the quarterback 1 or the cornerback 2. If Micah Parsons is still there, they have a very, very weak linebacker core. So I think this gives you plenty of options as the Eagles to where, trading down and getting an extra first and, trading up for, 33 spots in the 4th round or so, I believe. Maybe the 5th round. But you get that, extra 33 spots to look at a guy that, a late rounder that could end up being a starter for you. So overall, I think for the Eagles, this is just a solid deal for them. They get to build around Jalen Hurts with that 2022 first from the Dolphins. So yeah, I think this is a solid deal for the Eagles, but I think they could have also gotten a little bit more out of the Dolphins. But I do see why, they didn't ask for the farm from the Dolphins as well. Because, at number 6, you have plenty of options there, but it's not like you're getting Penei Sewell, for example. The Dolphins are not going to get Penei Sewell, and that is just a fact. If the Bengals pass up on him, I will be very surprised, let's just say. And the Falcons could easily take him at number 4 as well. You can't count them out for that spot. But if they do land Penei Sewell, good on them. I think that's a great pick for them. But I think that's very, very unlikely. And what I think is way more likely is that they could grab someone like Rashawn Slater to plug in at guard. Because Jonah Williams is their left tackle for now. And I think it's going to stay that way. So they might have not even want Penei Sewell in the first place. Because, putting Jonah Williams at right tackle is not where he's best suited. So he could easily develop as well to be a Pro Bowl tackle. And Penei Sewell is not nearly as a short thing as Jonah Williams is for now, because he's already been showing that he's a decent starter, whereas Penei Sewell is just a prospect right now. That being said, they could still go offensive line, like I said, with Rashawn Slater, but I think it's it's much more likely that the Dolphins take a wide receiver here, which at number 6, like I said, could be any choice at all. Like, it could be any one of the top 3 that they could go for. Jamar Chase could still be here at number 6 because the Falcons at 4 either could take a quarterback in Trey Lance or Mac Jones, or they could trade down and someone else could take a Trey Lance or Mac Jones, or they take Penei Sewell, or they take like Jamar Chase. So worst case scenario, your wide receiver 3 here is available, in which case you have Penei Sewell on the board. So worst case scenario, I think the Dolphins at least have an opportunity to trade down because, like I said, if the Falcons take Penei Sewell and the Bengals take, Jamar Chase, then, Trey Lance is going to be available at 6, and they could even get a bigger haul and end up, with lots and lots and lots of picks and still get the guy that they want. So basically what I'm trying to say here is that the Dolphins are sitting pretty. They get to build around Tua, extra 2023 first, and to be fair, they're probably going to be better than the 49ers in 2022. So that means that more than likely the 49ers pick is going to be at a higher spot than their pick would be, meaning that they basically traded up as well in the draft. And it wasn't just a pure swap deal, right? So overall, the Dolphins are the big winners here. That's basically what I'm trying to say here. And I think the Dolphin fans should just be really happy at this point. The Dolphins organization is going to be, one of those teams that will be in the playoffs literally every year for like the next 5 or so years. Now, maybe not this year with Tua because he's still trying to develop. And by the way, with Tua, if there's like so much Tua hate out there and it's warranted, I don't think it is, but let's say it is warranted and he ends up being, not the best. Let's just say after 3 years, the Dolphins decide, okay, we're going to move on from him. Well, 2023 draft has a special first round pick from the 49ers. So if the 49ers don't perform with that first round pick, they could easily get a quarterback with that pick. Now, I think it's way more likely that the 49ers have a, late first round pick that year, meaning that the Dolphins now have it. But it's very possible that Justin Fields or Trey Lance, whoever they decide to draft, ends up being a bust, and the 49ers are not looking pretty, especially in that NFC West division that is probably the best in the NFL. So the Dolphins, worst case scenario, have a backup plan. Also, one more thing before the video goes. Deshaun Watson, he's been in a little bit of trouble as of late, meaning that I think worst case scenario, Deshaun Watson is out of the NFL for good, which I could see happening, especially with what's been going on surrounding him. But I think it's also very likely that, he could settle for a lot of money and end up getting like a huge suspension, but he ends up coming back in a year, meaning that the Dolphins, with the draft capital that they just acquired, could use that to get Deshaun Watson for much cheaper than he would be, a couple weeks ago. He's going to be at an all-time low value if he has to sit out a year, or, there's questions around those allegations still, or that court case is still going on and the NFL can't do anything about it, right? He's going to be at an all-time low. The Dolphins, if they feel like it, they can take a chance with Deshaun Watson and only have to give up like maybe a first and a second, maybe, right? So overall, the Dolphins are looking good. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this breaking news. And if you want to see, more content like this, be sure to subscribe and like the video. It would be much appreciated. I have a Twitter as well that I will link in the description, as well as a Discord if you want to join that. Now, hopefully you all enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video.